Everyone, and good afternoon. So we are going to jump right back into our tennis scores and tennis updates. It is Saturday, June the 23rd.
Woohoo!
June the 23rd. It is our 16th show. Good job. Well done. As always, we have the mighty or muy bonita Carla. Muy bonita señorita with us here. So thank you very much for being here.
You're welcome.
You are a pleasure to sit next to during this show that we have grown to enjoy to do. So, again, if you're just tuning in, we're going to do a grass court season run-up to Wimbledon, both men's and women's. That's WTA and ATP. Some of our picks going into Wimbledon. And we hope to shed some light on subjects such as women getting more coverage. They should get more coverage. We have watched more redundant and repetitive same matches over and over. Men's tennis, again, male tennis player, not a problem with that, but when I see the same match 7 times over throughout the day, I'd rather just see like a women's match that's actually important instead of the same match like 8 times over.
Totally agree.
I don't get it. Anyway, so why do we do the show? We do it because of that, so we can get some real feedback on really kind of a personal level without really being, I guess you could say, verbally correct in all situations that we talk about. So we're just going to let it fly. Hey, if we have a bad show, we have a bad show. If we have a good show, rock on. All right, so time permitting, we're going to do one show today, men's and then women's, or men's and women's in one show, or we'll split it up into 2 shows like we've been doing.
Right.
All right? All right, so here we go. So we have 2 tournaments next week, by the way, for the men. One is in Turkey, and the other one is the Nature Valley International at Eastbourne, which is in England. So we'll talk about both of those tournaments. They're both ATP 250s, nothing major. But there are some players that will be playing that we haven't talked about before. So we're going to jump right back in to men's tennis, and we're going to start off by talking about next week's tournaments. So next week's tournaments, we have the Turkish Airlines Open, which is an ATP 250.
Never heard of it.
I personally haven't heard of this either. The number 1 seed is Manarino, the French player.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that says a lot about the tournament.
Yeah, so I mean, Manarino had a decent run this past week. I think he made a quarter and lost to Djokovic.
Yeah.
But if Manarino, who is not in my top 16 for Wimbledon, if he's the number 1 seed, there's probably not a lot of action that's going to make or break my thoughts on Wimbledon a week after this week, right?
Right. I totally agree.
So there is Gael Monfils, who is another Frenchman who came in as a wild card, who is the number 4 seed. I personally like Monfils a lot, and I always have liked Gael Monfils. To me, he'll always be better than a Kyrgios. I feel like the other day we were watching a Kyrgios match, and Gimelstob, the commentator, was like, "Look at him doing a Monfils serve. Look at him doing a Federer serve." Monfils is Monfils, and Federer is Federer, and Kyrgios is Kyrgios, and I think there is only one Monfils. And Monfils, to me, is a much better athlete than Kyrgios. Just look at him, he's a beast. But he never has had the mental, complete focus or fitness focus. He's had some injuries for me to push through, but I still think until Kyrgios grows up that Monfils is still the better player between 2 very similar athletes.
Monfils is the number 4 seed in that small tournament?
Number 4 seed,
Wait,
small tournament. But
so Manarino's ahead of him?
Yes, but
That's odd.
but I guess it's a wild card, maybe more ticket sales, knowing that even that Monfils is a 4 seed, he's still going to sell more tickets than number 1 Manarino.
He should be the number 1 seed in that tournament.
Yeah, I would think Monfils should be the number 1 seed too, but alas, he is not. Go Monfils, like you a lot.
Me too. Too bad that he just does not have what do you call it? Not determination, but the discipline of practicing and trying to be in the top 10. He could have been a Grand Slam champion. In my opinion, out of all the Frenchmen, he's better than Tsonga, better than Gasquet, better than Chardy, better than Puig. I mean, the guy can jump. He can do tricks. I mean, he's long. He's funny. He's got personality. He makes tennis exciting.
Totally agree. The past couple of videos I've mentioned Kyrgios only because we hear so much about him, but yet he has proved nothing. I like the kid. I think he's a good kid, but I would really like to see a match between Kyrgios and Monfils. And unless Kyrgios grows up and mans up a little bit, someone like Monfils, the similar type of player, very similar type of player, I think Monfils is better. But I would really like to see Monfils match up against Kyrgios. I would think Monfils would own that. That's wishful thinking. There's no plans for that in the future. Maybe it's a Wimbledon future. So we're going to push forward anyway. So Baghdadis plays in this tournament. Irrelevant for me.
I've always enjoyed watching Baghdadis. Back in the early 2000s, around there, I mean, he made a lot of noise, got into the top 10. I'm sure that he's still playing because he's got lots of bills to pay.
Yeah, surely Baghdadis is still hanging around because either one, he loves it, or two, he's got a lot of accounts payable that he has to handle. I don't see any relevance for Baghdadis here at Wimbledon coming into the second week of Wimbledon. And again, that's why we do the show, is to talk about who we have going into the second week of Wimbledon by means of starting at the first grass court tournament for men and women, which we have done, and we hope to continue to do. So another player here, Sugita, the kid that made a fourth round or quarterfinal this past week, and then lost to, I think, Kudla.
Yeah.
Potentially, I may be wrong there.
He
He's
lost
here.
to Kudla.
Yeah, and lost. He's here at this tournament. Is this really a big deal? Is Sugita going into the second week of Wimbledon?
No, just more points for Sugita, more experience, more match play. No, it's not of importance for us, or maybe the fans for Wimbledon.
All right, so there's not much happening in this tournament that we were discussing, which is the Turkish Airlines Open ATP 250, and that starts on Monday.
Are we even doing a coverage on this?
I think we may highlight maybe something from there, but I have a note here, and I'm glad you said that, because maybe while this tournament's going on, this Turkish Airlines Open 250, if I see that on the tennis channel instead of the monumental women's tournament coming up with all the big players playing, and I see that, I promise you I'm disconnecting service. Not that you even care, but look, I can get better coverage of the women by reading than I can from paying to watch it, which I don't watch because I never see it. Anyway, don't let me watch this tournament with no one in it when, like, Kvitova is playing. I mean, come up with a possible scenario. We're going to get to that in the women's, but all the women are coming out. The majority of them are coming out for this tournament next week. So please, please, please don't let me watch Sugita against Manarino when I got, like, Kerber and who knows. Give me some women's coverage if we're watching that. Anyway, moving forward. Next week also we have the Nature Valley International in Eastbourne. Another men's 250. A little bit higher quality tennis than I think we're going to see in Turkey. I'm going to name some players that are in the draws, which I looked at today. Schwartzman, Argentine, number 1 seed.
He's a good player.
He's okay.
I mean, he's worth watching.
He's okay. He's all right. Ryan Harrison, the American. I'm out. Boring. A British player, Nori. I'm glad to see a British young man playing in this tournament in Eastbourne, but I'm out.
Same here.
Cecchinato, the French Open semi-finalist. I'm out here on grass.
I'm actually interested to see how he does on grass. I like to see that.
Okay, so she's looking forward to Cecchinato. I think he gets smoked at Wimbledon. And that's why we do the show, right? Wimbledon?
Yes, Wimbledon, correct. But you don't know if Cecchinato is actually good in grass. He had a one-handed backhand.
Yeah, I think he's going to get drilled.
Okay.
All right. Cecchinato gets drilled in the first week of Wimbledon. Gals Muller plays this tournament. Again, I think it's a veteran tuning. Doesn't matter if he wins or loses. I think Muller goes deep at Wimbledon.
I agree with you. Classic guy. Definitely loves the grass.
All right, so we have talked before about the proverbial American players being matched up against one another in the first round of any tournament where there's Americans playing. Specifically the men. Women's too, but specifically the men. I think it was last week that we had the same matchup in the first round of another grass tournament, and I may be wrong, but it's a similar matchup.
Yeah, you had Tiafoe against Donaldson, wasn't it?
Okay, well maybe that was it, and my notes are incorrect. But we have Fritz, the young American, playing Donaldson, the young American, in the first round at the Nature Valley International next week. Why? I mean, is it because American tennis is so bad they just pair two of them up at the beginning, knowing one of them is going to go away?
They're both Fritz and Donaldson actually play a lot. They even look alike. I mean, they
were probably trained at the same place, learned the same forehand, learned the same backhand, learned the same overhead, learned the same serve, learned the same footwork.
The only difference is that one is a father already and the other one is not.
They both are not going into my second week of Wimbledon. Let's be real. Tiafoe's better and just lost to Chardy. Come on, man. Do better, America. Look, I'm 40, and I will try to play you and beat you. I'll get some games from you. I may not win, but if a 40-year-old man with 5 children will call you out and attempt to even play you, put it this way. I would hate to play a lot of top 10 women before I would hate to play any one of you. Less query. Tiafoe, I'll play you. I won't beat you, but I'll play you. Donaldson, I'll play you.
How about Donald Young?
Hey, look, Donald Young, I'll still play you. I think Carla, honestly, out of Donaldson, Fritz, Tiafoe, Johnson.
No, Johnson's a lot better.
I still think you give him a shot. I'm missing one. Sandgren. I think Carla beats him straight up.
No, Sandgren, no.
She beats him straight up. That's how weak American men's tennis is. Less query. And query's getting old.
I mean, you got Isner, too.
Come on, man. If his serve isn't on, he's done. Yeah, Isner, come on. If your serve isn't on, you're done. All right. So we have Shapovalov playing this tournament. Is Shapovalov really a threat for me? I personally don't care for his game. I don't think he makes it past the first 2 rounds at Wimbledon. She loves him.
We'll see how he does at Eastbourne. He's just jealous.
He hits a one-hander and flops open. He hits it, and instead of hitting and driving through it, he hits it and flops wide open.
Don't you think he has plenty of time to improve? I mean, Shapovalov's game is much better than all those Americans you named.
Yeah, all the Americans just run around their backhands and hit forehands, and that's why they leave the court open and they always lose. But Shapovalov does a lot of that too, being lefty, and he flops open. Look, Shapovalov is Tiafoe to me.
No, he's not. He's in a different league.
No,
Come on now.
No, Shapovalov's no better than or worse than Tiafoe. Okay, I'm just telling you like
you're wrong.
Look,
he's got better strokes, better serve, better volleys. He actually uses his head. He's had more wins over top players. He's got style.
Wait a minute, hold on. Shapovalov's beating who?
Nadal. He's beating Burdage. He's beating, in the clay season he had a good...
Didn't Tiafoe almost beat Federer and had a match point?
He almost beat him, but Shapovalov beat Nadal at hardcourt.
Wait a minute. Didn't Shapovalov lose in the first round of the past 2 tournaments? One being against Yuki Bombari, or no, another Indian player named Peshawar or something?
But grass might not be his thing. He might still be adjusting to the grass court.
Shapovalov's a has-been, just like Dolgopolov was, your other number 1 player.
Yeah, okay. Anyways, go to
Again,
the
she called Dolgopolov 8 years ago that he'd be number 1 because he was flashy and had spunk and something new, kind of like Nadal, but Nadal was a special case. Now she sees Shapovalov, but because she doesn't...
I say that Shapovalov, Thiem, and Severovic are going to be your top guys in the future. Why not? Including Kachanov, and you've got Koric. Those are going to be your guys that are going to be in the top 10. And one of them is going to be number 1 in the world.
I agree with all those that she just mentioned, but I think Shapovalov never gets there. maybe top 20.
I mean,
he's
and
23
I even
now,
forgot
but
Edmund. I mean, you got Edmund. That's another one that's going to be to look forward to. Once Federer and Nadal out of the game, that's your future tennis right there.
agreed. All right, moving forward. So we have a veteran, David Ferrer, that's playing that tournament as well. I'm not going to waste time. I don't have him going into my top 16, but hey, he's a veteran. He's made deep runs in majors for a very long time, so just mentioning that he is still around.
3-4 years ago, I would say yes, but not anymore.
Yeah. Good luck, Ferrer. We love you, buddy. Keep working. We have Edmund coming in this tournament, someone that she's been following for a while at the number 2 seed spot. So, again, Edmund lost to Kyrgios in a tight 2-set match. Again, I have a lot of hope for Kyrgios, but unless he grows up, I think he's a schmuck, no offense. But grow up, or people like Cilic, as he beat you today, are going to continue to beat you today. When it gets down to boxing a heavyweight, where it's win or lose, and someone's going to lose this match, and in my head, it's going to be like someone getting escorted out of the ring by a paramedic. Someone like Cilic, Federer, Nadal will always beat a Kyrgios in 3 of 5 sets because the mentality breaks down with all the antics. I'm telling you, Kyrgios, great future. But if you do not stop the antics, I promise you, if you want to be thug life, that's fine. Keep doing it, but change the sport because it doesn't really fit really well with tennis. But if you want to pursue that, then go look at Marcelo Rios, someone that did this before you, and a million other players before you have done the same thing. And what happens, Carla? You lose. You lose. Badly. In the locker room, the fans get tired of it. Then some other thug comes around, which you're not even a thug, man. You're like a tennis player with, like, family pockets, man. I mean, how can you thug that out?
I don't know why you give this guy so much airtime. I wouldn't even talk about him.
How can you thug that out, though? It's like snowboarding and thinking you're a snowboard gangster when you pay $90 for a lift ticket. Whatever, man. Grow up or you're going to continue to get beat by Cilic. Alright, so we're going to move right back into scores that happened today. We had Federer that...
Well, you missed an important match.
What?
Obviously, you highlighted for a reason.
What did I highlight? Oh! See, this is why we got Carla here. A first-round match in that tournament next week is Wawrinka versus Murray. If you've watched our previous shows, we have talked about, and we've gone back and forth about who will have a better showing at Wimbledon because of injuries, and they're just jumping back in the game. Well, tournament directors, I think this was probably planned behind the scenes, but we have Wawrinka facing Andy Murray in the first round of this tournament on grass. I can guarantee you, this is my forecast. Whoever loses this match does not play Wimbledon. Whoever wins it plays.
I think it's pitiful that, well,
that's a semifinal match.
That they would even allow for those two to be in the first round. The director of that tournament should have not allowed that. I mean, they should have been separated. Obviously, these guys are playing these tournaments to get more grass court practice, and one of them is not going to get it.
Yeah, one of them's not getting it.
And I have a feeling it's going to be Murray.
I have a feeling it's going to be Wawrinka. I think Murray wins this.
I don't think so.
You think Wawrinka wins it?
Yeah, he's had a
Bet?
few more matches, sure.
What you want to bet?
I don't know. What was the bet we made yesterday?
20 push-ups?
Sure. Didn't we make a bet
So
yesterday?
we're going to make it 40?
20, 40, whatever.
All right, 40 push-ups. Wawrinka wins. You got... No, I got
Wawrinka. You got Murray.
I got Murray.
Okay.
All right, we're in. All right, moving forward to scores today. Federer beat Denis Kudla. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about this, but for me, the only thing I want to mention is that Federer beat Kudla 7-6, 7-5. Pretty tight, pretty vulnerable. Roger, if you're going to beat Kudla by a margin of 3 games, you are not winning Wimbledon. You look vulnerable, Roger. Vulnerable.
I don't really see him as vulnerable. This is practice matches. Maybe he's not giving it 100%. Maybe he's saving his body. Who knows?
7-6.
Maybe he wants more warm-up. I don't know.
Look, I watched the match. I didn't see anything special
Okay.
from either player. Okay, it was
It's
close.
hard to do something special when you're playing against someone like...
So maybe the level dropped because...
Correct. I mean, haven't you ever played against a tennis player whose level is much lower than yours?
And you kind of drop.
And you kind of drop many times. It's happened to me. I know it's happened to you.
Yeah, sometimes you can lose against pushers, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, and the other semifinal, we had Koric that beat Bautista Agut, but however, it was on serve in the first set. Bautista Agut slipped and fell in the grass. I looked it up, injured himself, and had to retire.
Oh, wow. That sucks for Batista, but I think Koric would have beat him anyways.
Yeah, Koric would have won that anyways. However, I do hope Bautista Agut is okay. Grass is a very slippery surface, especially when it's wet. So there's a lot of different theories on why this happens, whether it's the grass or the shoes or whatever it may be. But it's one of those things. So hopefully you recover from this, and hopefully we see you at Wimbledon. But I was rooting for Koric here, and he got through to the next round to meet Federer. I think Koric has an opportunity to beat Federer, but if Federer plays just 50% of how he usually plays today, I think he played at 30% versus Kula. If he plays at 50%, he'll roll through Koric.
You think Koric is going to lose easily to Federer?
If Federer plays halfway of what he can play, I think he will.
I mean, I really haven't seen Koric play in this tournament. I really haven't seen too many of his matches. I think he'll give a good fight to Federer.
I do too.
It'll be if he wins, his first tournament.
His first big one, yeah.
So I think he'll go all out. I think Fed will save his body a bit more in that.
I'll pick Fed to win that match, Federer, but I still have Koric on my top 8 players at Wimbledon. All right, back to England. Today we had Cilic that beat Kyrgios. We just discussed this in one of my rants. Cilic, the better player, beat a young boy player mentality at 7-6, 7-6. It was close, but as we mentioned yesterday, don't toy around, because someone like Cilic, Croatian, is going to come in and he's just going to just demolish you. And it was 7-6, 7-6 respectively. But again, I implore you, Kyrgios, to go into one tournament and try to be respectable to yourself, to your fans, to the game, and I guarantee you have a better chance of getting further in these tournaments, like carrying trophies instead of semifinals.
I'm so happy Cilic won. Didn't we make a bet yesterday?
Yeah, I called for Kyrgios to win, and
I won.
And I still have Kyrgios as being either winning Wimbledon or pulling him out and putting Djokovic in the spot. But you just can't win 3 out of 5 set matches deep in the 5th set, and you're still trying to hit tweeners on the return of serve. I mean, it's just not going to work. I want it to work for you, but in about a year, I'm probably going to get burnt out and start looking for the next 19-year-old, even though you're like 22 already. All right, so we had Djokovic today that beat Chardy. No surprise. Djokovic is hot. He looks good. He is on fire in terms on the tennis court. I think today put Djokovic back right up there on the winner's pedestal at Wimbledon. For me, Djokovic looks good going into Wimbledon.
Totally agree. I mean, he gave Chardy a good match, let him feel like he was special out there, but he won. He ran right through him.
All right, so the final tomorrow, Djokovic versus Cilic here in England. Who do you have?
Technically, Cilic should win this match since he's had more practice, less injuries. I wouldn't be surprised if Djokovic beat him.
I agree with her. Cilic has been a consummate athlete for the past couple of years with really no time off, fairly injury-free, always been hanging around. Djokovic is right on the cusp. But I think if they're head-to-head on paper tomorrow and they battle it out according to their current percentages, I think Cilic wins it in 2 or 3 sets, but tight sets either way. If Djokovic wins it, though, it's just an absolute example of why I think Djokovic or Kyrgios, but Djokovic in this context will win Wimbledon.
I don't think he'll win Wimbledon. Sorry. Too soon.
All right, so in closing, I'm going to end with a couple final thoughts. Wawrinka Murray tomorrow is a first-round match. It should generally be a semifinal or final. Again, I have Murray winning that. She has Wawrinka. Keep your eye out on Shapovalov. We've had a long time bitter rivalry. She likes Shapovalov. I like Koric as the young guys, and I really think Shapovalov is kind of a has-been already with his floppy backhand and his bouncing. But look, he bounces the ball more in between his legs than he hits winners. So if anybody can tell me more about Shapovalov than him doing a basketball in between the legs maneuver every time he serves, I mean, do we have to watch that? It's like Nadal picking the underwear out of his butt. It's like Nadal butt and Shapovalov ball bouncing between his legs. It's like, cool, we've seen this, but I've seen
And
kind of.
Djokovic bounced the ball a million times.
Yeah,
What's your point?
Djokovic does like 27 ball bounces, but that's we can do without that.
Everybody
too.
has their own little thing.
All right, well, hey, I can do without the underwear butt pick, and I can do without the ball bouncing between the legs. Djokovic's 27 ball bounces, I get it, you want to become one with the ball, but I don't need to become one with my butt, and I don't need to prove to myself or to Jordan that I can bounce the ball like a basketball player. Anyway, keep your eye on Monfils. Monfils is a great player. I'm dreaming for a matchup between Monfils and Kyrgios because I would really like Kyrgios to see that those other players like you and that veteran players like you are a dime a dozen, like Monfils, is like a showboat Kyrgios. Rios wasn't necessarily a showboat, but just no one liked him. The locker room turned on him, and what happened? Fritz Donaldson, another USA matchup. Does anyone understand that this always happens? It's first round of Wimbledon. There's going to be 2 Americans paired up right off the bat,
Always.
and then another 2, and then another 2. I mean, it happens all the time, and someone needs to start looking at this and understanding that you'll never find a semifinal or a final possibility where there's 2 Americans because they're all paired up in the first 2 rounds. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe everybody realizes that American tennis is weak right now. We need to fix that. Calling a spade a spade. And don't forget about David Ferrer. Ferrer is out there. He's a veteran, been around a while, and he has a chance if he's in the draw.
Yeah, he can always. He can always upset a top player because he knows how to play. He's just older now.
Yeah. So anyway, as always, we try to let tennis news be real instead of just this honey-baited honey hive of just too good for school type stuff. So hopefully you enjoy our take on it, and then if not, then hey, thanks for watching. But hey, we're passionate about the game. We enjoy doing it. We spent a lot of time preparing this, so hopefully you find some motivation to conversate with us in this. So hey, click a like below, subscribe below. We're going to go to the women's here shortly, and hope you enjoyed the men's. Look forward to the finals tomorrow, and hopefully for a brief update on those finals tomorrow afternoon. Meantime, see, as always, Carla says,
Adios.